Welcome back to Sedlak Off-Road School, and in today's adventure motorcycle off-road riding tip, we want to talk about the 3 most common mistakes that riders make when they transition from riding street bikes to riding adventure bikes off-road. So a lot of the riders that attend our adventure bike trainings are riders with a street riding background, right? So they've been riding motorcycles for years. They're obviously familiar with how to use a clutch, how to shift the bike and all that. But that transition to riding off-road becomes a little bit difficult for them. A lot of them struggle with the confidence to really ride some more technical terrain. So over time, we kind of observe 3 very common mistakes that these riders make, and we're gonna break them down today and then help you avoid them or work on them if that's something you do. And mistake number 1 that we see a lot is people just being overly aggressive on their front brake, right? So obviously riding off-road, you have a lot less traction. So you want to be careful with the front brake. You want to kind of use your rear brake a little bit more, especially in the beginning, because you can lock up your rear and don't really have any big consequences. You lock up the rear, you have a little bit of a skid, you get off the brake, you roll out of it. You lock up your front end just goes, tucks, and you go down, right? So easy on the front brake. We see a lot of riders using their entire hand on the front brake lever. Off-road, you're going very slow, right? You have big front brakes, so really all you need is your index finger on the front brake and then just really easy on the pressure. Right away in the beginning, get used to using the rear brake a little bit more. So find yourself a stretch of dirt road, gravel road, and just go up and down, hands off the front brake. Just use your rear brake just to get a feel of what that feels like. 1, when you're locking up. 2, if you're just slightly engaging the rear brake to slow the bike down. And then once you're used to that, introduce index finger only on the front brake. Same thing, no turning, nothing, straight up and down. Just slow the bike down with a gentle squeeze on the front brake. Mistake number 2 that we see a lot is downshifting when you're slowing the bike down, getting into a turn. So a lot of street bike riders have the tendency to use the engine brake to slow the bike down. And off-road, that's not necessarily what you want to do, especially when you're really aggressive. Let's say you're riding in 3rd gear and you hammer it all the way down to 1st. There's a lot of engine brake. A lot of times we see riders even lock up the rear tire for an instant just because they're downshifting too aggressively. So easy on the downshift. Get used to riding the bike in 2nd gear off-road. You don't really want to use 1st gear too much. 2nd gear, feather the clutch a little bit if you have to. And then if you do shift down, make sure you get your braking down, you slow the bike down, and then really the downshift is the last thing you want to do before you turn in. No need to shift down that early. No need to downshift that aggressively where you're skipping from 4th to 2nd right away or 3rd to 1st, right? Shift down 1 gear at a time, let the bike roll out, and then get in the gear that you want to be in. Mistake number 3, and that's a big one, is the indecisiveness whether you want to be riding standing up or you want to be sitting down. And because of that, a lot of riders just sort of like hover on the bike. And we broke that technique down when we talked about, very common mistakes new adventure riders make, is that position where you're just hunching on the bike, right? You're not really standing, you're not really sitting down, so you don't really give the bike good input if where you want to be, what you want to do. And that way it's very easy for you to lose your confidence because the bike's going all over the place. Nothing wrong with sitting down when you're new to riding off-road, right? There's this misconception that you always have to be standing up. Yes, it's beneficial. You have more control of the bike when you're standing up, as long as you're standing up correctly, right? So if you're not at the point where you can really stand up tall, keep your chest forward, drop your heels, and squeeze the bike right in that position, nothing wrong with sitting down. Make sure you have your sitting down position done. Videos in the description below of where you want to be sitting on the bike. Keep your chest forward. A lot more beneficial for you to be sitting in the right position and riding through that terrain compared to being in a very compromised position standing up and just fighting the bike all the way. So make sure that, again, you pick some very easy terrain, dirt road, even on the street, right? You don't even have to go off-road and work on the standing up position. Make sure you stand tall, make sure you stretch those knees out, drop your heels, keep your chest forward. Once you're comfortable riding off-road in that position, no problem standing up. If you're not there yet and you find yourself off-road, don't mind riding some sections sitting down, as long as, same thing, you can keep your chest forward. squeeze the bike in the seating position, and then control the bike from there. So this is it, the 3 most common mistakes street motorcycle riders make when they start riding off-road on these bigger adventure bikes. Right front brake, be careful there. Downshifting, that's an easy one to avoid. That's not really a big technique change. That's just you being more patient when you're riding. Standing up is probably the one that takes, the most amount of practice. It takes a little bit of work getting used to that position. But like I said, if you don't have easy access to going off-road, you can practice that just going down the street. Obviously not in traffic, right? Find yourself a nice quiet street. Just stand up and work on these techniques. Work on your form in terrain that's really easy. We see too many riders trying to challenge themselves with challenging terrain while they're trying to work on their form at the same time, and it doesn't work, right? You need easy terrain, get your form right, get your confidence up, and then the difficult terrain will become easy. Thank you guys so much for watching and leaving all the comments every week. We really enjoy putting out these videos for you. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you would like to see next. Check out all the links for other videos in the description below. And if you would like to come and train with us in San Diego or any of the adventure bike events that we put on, check the link below, send us an email, and we'll see you at one of these soon. Thank you.